But the system of capitalism requires you, especially if you're a young person, to believe in it. So you have to keep spending money. It's the reason why when you're younger, it's much easier to get a loan than when you're older. When you're younger, debt is given to you to actually make you enslaved to that system. Because when you're in debt, you'll work harder to pay off the debt. Now, I'm not going to be immoral, but sometimes there are debts, what we would call odious debts. Thomas Sankara spoke about what happened in Africa during colonialism and post-colonialism. A lot of African nations were made bankrupt. They had what's called structural improvement programs, which was a complete opposite. And what they did was that they were basically conned into, or forced and conned, into spending their money in such a way that they couldn't grow out of the debt, they couldn't work their way out of the debt. And he said that what we sometimes have to do is reject the debt as an odious debt. So in this country, the way you do that, if you're prepared for it, if you have a good name, and you are confident with your name, you have the people around you that support you and know you, you use the tools that multi-millionaires use. You go bankrupt. You have to be prepared to say, you know what? This debt is odious. I was trying to do something with it. I'm not going to fall into the line of believing that the stigma that comes with not having money means that I'm worthless. I am worth something. Every human is worth something. And you have to have the sense to say, well, look, okay, either I can afford to pay it, or I'm going to enslave myself for years and years to pay something so I can never do something to carry my dream, or I'm going to write it off. And, you know, everyone's got a different position where they come from. I think that you have to be prepared to recognise from the history of people like Henry Ford, who made the motor car. I don't know, I think it was 13 times he went bankrupt before he came up with the Model T, which was a success. And people only remember him through Ford cars because he's a success. But he understood the message that you try and try again. And you're never a failure as long as you're prepared to get up and try again. But you have to understand that the system that we live in is designed to trick us into believing that our money is what makes us important. It's what generates wealth. It's what gives us and it's the complete opposite way around. We are what's important. The ideas in here, the creativity that comes out of here. We must try to be creative, to do different things. We must try and aspire to something that's bigger than us. And when we get it right, we can be happy. When we get it wrong, we accept it and we move on and grow. But don't get caught into this idea that the debt makes you, a certain kind of person. That's a stigma.